How y'all doing? I'm Paul Ryan, your host of the Across the Cowboys podcast. If you're new to the show, thank you for joining us. And to our regular listeners, welcome back. With me, as always, is my co-host, the greatest co-host in the world, Mike The Pig Crum. Mike, how are you?
Doing great, my friend. I'm kind of waiting. I'm ready for next Sunday. Ever since the Niners game, I wanted to see how we'd respond, and then it kind of became like, it's about next Sunday. And I'm into the start of basketball. I like this Lakers team. I love Luka, obviously, so I've been watching him kick butt, and I'm really enjoying I like the chances of this Lakers team in the West, and so sports is pretty on a high right now, even though Dallas got killed by Niners and the Lakers are 1-2. I'm looking longer term, and I like that there's. It's not like over for either of my sports teams. It's not like they have no chance. So that's nice.
Definitely a good time of year, Mike. You've got the World Series going on. My Texas Rangers are playing. Of course, the Cowboys winning back-to-back games. That always feels good. And then my Mavericks are 2-0, man. I like this time of year because basketball's just starting. Football's getting interesting. And, when your team makes the World Series, you're always happy.
Is Brendan in the at another World Series game? Is he big up in this? Is that why he's not on again? He's going to his second World Series game.
If he's in Arizona at Game 3 of the World Series, I will be super jealous. I don't think so. I feel like that's something he would have announced.
He went to Game 2 and cost you guys you guys were 1-0 without him. And then he has to go and show up and jinx it, and now they're 1-1.
Yeah, he jinxed us for sure, man. I definitely blame that game on him.
No, me too, 100%. I don't follow baseball too much anymore, but because my group on Twitter, my Cowboys friends are going for Texas, I'm going for Texas for them. And so Brendan jinxed us.
Absolutely. Well, Mike, let the people know they can find you on Twitter.
CD. Wow. Who messes up their catch? That's the one thing I got to get right. At CD Piglet, guys. Nice and easy.
Guys, I'm Paul Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15. Well, Mike, here we are celebrating and recapping another Victory Monday and right before Halloween. Mike, I got to ask, which is scarier, our defense or the way our offensive line played yesterday?
The way the offensive line played on the first series was definitely scarier. I'll say overall, though, I got to give the defense the credit. DaRon Bland and Micah Parsons got to be scaring everybody right now. Those two are crazy.
Yeah, and Osa was, he had a good game yesterday too. Didn't really show up in the stat sheet, but he was effective yesterday as well.
Yeah, I agree. How about Sam Williams as a gunner on the punt team? That's terrifying. You go from having to block. CJ Goodwin is an ace, and he's near unblockable. And every defensive gunner is like, "I'll block him, please." Why is Sam Williams out here just running by people? Man, Bones Fossil is a damn good coach, man. He finds shit. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and you got to be happy for Sam Williams, getting some more snaps and finding a way to get him on the field, man. We see when he does get opportunities, he usually makes the most of them.
Yeah, I know. To the block, I get. You line him up, he's a pass rusher, he gets inside, he blocks. They had him in CJ Goodwin and Kelvin Joseph's position. Like, out there, how do you block that guy? Like, you got to be like, nah, dude, I'm not doing. Just call a fair catch. I'm not blocking this guy.
Might even be a little bit freakier than Micah when you talk about size and speed, man.
Yeah. I think Micah's got him with agility and quickness, but straight line speed and size, man, Sam Williams is monstrous.
Yes, sir. Well, Mike, I know we have a lot to talk about. I know your Lakers are playing tonight, so let's get this thing started. And what better way to start off than with my favorite segment? Of course, I'm referring to Meatless Monday. Mike, what was on the menu today?
It's goes a little bit back to pre-roll. We were talking about me and Paul are both freezing. Now in Texas, as you guys know, most of you that listen to us, I'm sure, are there. It's like 40 degrees there. California is a little different. Like the minute it gets into the 60s, I'm in a hooded sweatshirt. So it's 69 degrees here and I'm freezing. And I bring that up because my meatless Monday dinner was a grilled cheese sandwich and tomato soup. And that's cold weather food right there. Cold weather comfort food. And so I'm in my sweater, I'm in my little pajama pants, and I have my grilled cheese and tomato soup like it's 35 degrees outside.
Do you ever make your grilled cheese sandwiches with Velveeta cheese?
I used to. I haven't in a long time. Velveeta cheese is reserved for mac and cheese for me now if I'm doing stovetop mac and cheese.
Okay.
I of course go bougie with my grilled cheese. I had provolone, cheddar, and Parmesan cheese. And then the tomato soup had feta in it. So all the bougie cheeses.
Love feta cheese. We should do our top 5 cheeses sometime.
Oh, that would be, I don't want to do that. That would be really difficult. Get out of here, little brat.
Yeah, definitely soup weather here in Texas, Mike. My mom was kind enough to take my wife, myself, and Baker to dinner last night. We went to Olive Garden, and I had a bowl of Toscana soup, and man, you talk about like warm in the belly. That always hits the spot, sir.
You know how I am. I make fun of like the fast food places and yada yada yada.
Yes.
But Olive Garden for like fast food-ish Italian. I know they're sitting down.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, they're pretty damn good. Their soups always hit. Their breadsticks hit. I had their
salad's good.
The last time I went there, I had their spaghetti carbonara ravioli. Spaghetti carbonara is my favorite pasta. And man, it was good. So like for like something like they're kind of to Italian what Red Lobster is to seafood.
Exactly.
But I feel like they're better. Like they're not bad. Like I like Olive Garden. I go there. I don't crap on Olive Garden.
Yeah, a lot of people. It's like everybody likes to make fun of Arby's. People like to make fun of Olive Garden, and say what you will, they just have good food. You don't really go there for traditional Italian cuisine, obviously, but if you want a good meal that might be slightly overpriced, hey, Olive Garden's got you, man.
I told you the story about my friend and her sister with the Olive Garden. Didn't I tell you that?
Yeah, you told me on an episode with Brendan, man. It was hilarious.
Yes, that is funny. God, just making sure it was out there because I was going to tell you afterwards.
No, yeah, because I know, man, growing up, Olive Garden felt like fine dining, with the ambiance and everything. And then as you get older, you're like, okay, I know what this is now.
It was just funny to see them when I took her for her birthday, her sister and her birthday, and like her friend came and everything, and they were all dressed to the nine. And I'm sitting there like, you're not, no, this ain't what you think it is.
All right, Mike, let's talk some Cowboys here. Was this a big win for the Cowboys?
No.
Oh, wow, okay.
Next week's going to be, no matter, I mean, think about it. Let's just be honest. We just blew out the Rams, right? We've won. We've gone undefeated since the Niners game.
Yeah.
1-2 games, had the bye week. And there were 2 games that West Coast teams, good teams, they could have beat us, but if we did our job, but if we go in and lose by, 17 points to the Eagles, are you going to care what we did to the Rams?
That's true. That's a good point.
So, unfortunately, when you're a team that you look at the talent and you go, this team is too good not to be fighting for a Super Bowl. They should be in that range. Beating the Rams it's not gonna move the needle enough. You gotta beat Philly will move the needle.
Yeah.
Like I don't even think Seattle, who's top in their division, I don't even think that moves the needle anymore for Dallas. And that's a game they could easily lose. Like Seattle's a good team. But I think Eagles, Bills,
Miami.
Dolphins, like I don't think beating Detroit, who might be better than you, I don't think that moves the needle if you beat them. I think people just go, okay, well, they're a playoff team that haven't proven anything. Seattle's a playoff team that hasn't proven anything. Dallas beat Tampa Bay, eliminated retired Tom Brady last year, knocked him out, won on the road. Like it's time. The standards are different now. So, like, beat Philly. Now, that's a big win. That's a big game.
Yeah.
This one, it's necessary. They needed to
Right.
do it, but it isn't a big win. It's not going to move the needle for them. Only a couple games can.
That's fair. When you think about it, I mean, let me answer this question first. Was this a big win? I think it was, Mike. Looking at the Rams, they have one of the best wide receiver duos in the league right now, and we shut them down. Their defense had been solid up to that point, and we had our way with them. This was a big win and somewhat of a statement-making win, in my opinion, only because of how we won.
Okay, okay. So I like the way you put that. In the grand scheme of things, do I call this a big win? No. Is the way they stopped Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, a McVay offense, is that big? Yes. That was impressive. That was important. Stopping those receivers, doing what they did to that offense minus a couple of drives. Yeah, I can agree with that. I think overall, not a big needle mover, but in the way they were able to handle the Rams, the way they did it was impressive.
Absolutely. So, Mike, moving on here. What is the biggest difference in the offense the last two games?
I have two things. The first one we talked about last week, Dak's mobility kind of saved them in the Chargers game.
Yeah.
This week that was something, but they also added more motion. I believe it said they had 18 motion snaps. They had a 66, 67% success rate on plays where they use motion. Plays without motion, it was under 50%. So that tells you, I would hope that shows like, hey, when we have this talent and we, make defenses have to figure stuff out, we're talented enough to take advantage of that split second difference. So, yeah, that would be the two things. The offense opened up. They took more shots downfield, better air yards. They used motion more. So I would say that's a big difference. And then Dak's mobility.
Yeah, I have Dak using his legs as well. And somebody made a good point on 105 through the fan. I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was Brian Broaddus, but he's saying that Dak looking like he's playing a little bit more freely, not so much concerned about the throwing, making those tight window throws, not so concerned about maybe throwing a possible interception. I think that's made a difference as well.
Big difference. You need to, them using the seams. They don't throw the ball over the middle. They caught Jake Ferguson on that touchdown. Good call by you, by the way. First touchdown of the game. So yeah, that they obviously are adding wrinkles and doing stuff that every other team knows to do. And Mike McCarthy seems like a smart guy, and Brian Schottenheimer seems like a smart guy. So you'd think they'd look around and go, hey, maybe add some of this in here. It works elsewhere, so maybe it'll work here.
What's interesting about that Jake Ferguson touchdown is I'm pretty sure against the Chargers, he got wide open on that same exact play, and Dak didn't look his way.
Yeah, he did. That was something I saw on film last week, and Dak did a good job of watching the safety, and the safety decided to go try to double Lamb. That was a good formation too. Speaking of smart things, they snuck Lamb all by himself up top, put everybody else on the bottom part, and said, all right, we're going to run this. Everybody's got to worry about Cooks and the receivers, and you got to worry about Lamb one-on-one. And it kind of made the safety make a decision. You go to help Lamb, we're hitting Jake in the seam. You stay to make sure to take away the seam throw to the tight end. We'll throw the fade route to CeeDee Lamb one-on-one. So it was a nice design for McCarthy too.
Yeah, but the throw that Dak made and the catch that Ferguson made, wow, talk about a beautiful, beautiful play.
Yeah, it was nice to see it caught. Like that is not an easy catch, but the throw is so perfect. When Luke Schoonmaker dropped it a couple games ago, was it a couple? I think it was. Oh, the bye week. That's what's throwing me off. But Schoonmaker dropped it, and you're like, man, you can't get, like, you dropped his best throw of the day. And that was probably his best throw of the day again, but this time Fergie brought it in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, we were talking a little bit about this pre-roll, Mike, but how worried are you about the offensive line?
I'm worried about them when they face teams like Philly, San Francisco, Washington.
Yeah,
The Rams early on looked like they were the 85 Bears through the first like 3 snaps. They got it in
seriously.
control, and they actually had a very low pressure rate. I was surprised. I thought they looked bad most of the game, but yeah, I worry about it this coming up week. That's my biggest worry. Like when I go into this week, I typically pick Dallas to beat the NFC East because Dak has shown that he's very good. He's downright elite when he plays the NFC East.
Yeah.
Interesting contrast. I found out Jalen Hurts is 10-1 in his last 11 games in the division.
Ooh.
So this is kind of a both quarterbacks kill their division.
Yeah.
So which one, makes the more plays? I think Philly's got a little bit better team around him, around offensively, I mean, because of the way their offensive line is, and their 2 receivers are a little bit better than ours. AJ Brown's maybe the best receiver in football right now. And then they have Goddard, obviously. So he's got a little bit more around him, but we have a little bit better defense. Our pass rush equals theirs, and we're better in all other aspects defensively than they are right now. So it'll be interesting to see. I think it's going to be about up here, and up here, Philly's been the better team, but I don't know if they are when they face us, especially with Dak. So this is a wide open game, and we'll talk about that Friday. I'm not going to get too far ahead.
Yes, sir. And, I don't think Jalen Hurts, he's yet to beat Dak. And the last time Philly beat Dak, was without Jalen Hurts. This will be what feels like the first time in a long time that both teams will be relatively healthy facing off each other, too.
Yep. We'll see what happens with Tyron. But other than that, Tyron and I think Jalen Carter are the 2 main that are ones that we don't know what they're going to play. And from what I understood, Tyron thought he was playing Sunday.
Yeah.
So I think he'll be ready for the Philly game. He thought he was going in the Rams game.
Man, just give me Tyron for December in the playoffs, and I'll be fine, dude.
Yeah, I just need him for a couple of games to get in shape, get ready, get some continuity. Yeah. I don't mind them like, oh, you got a stinger, you're out. We're not going to mess around, especially in games like that. We need you for Bills, for Dolphins, for Philly twice, possibly for Washington twice. There's other games we need you for.
Got to protect him from himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't typically pay more than 10 to 12 games max. So he's already missed 3 now. So, that would take him down to 14 games if he played the rest. So he'll probably miss another 3 to 4 at least.
Hey, 14 games with Tyron, I'm okay with that, especially at what he's getting paid.
10 games with Tyron, I'm good.
Yeah. Yes,
10 games in the playoffs.
Yeah. How worried are you about the O-line, Mike? This is your question. I had one word answer here. Very. The reason being is, man, we just don't have any depth. No depth.
Yeah.
So, that's a concern, man. But, we were talking pre-roll, like the first 3 of the first 4 snaps, Dak was sacked. And then it seemed like the Rams could get no pressure. I don't know if that was because of how good the O-line was playing or how maybe the Rams were being less aggressive, trying to stop the pass, whatever have you. But they did turn things around, so that was nice to see.
Yeah, I thought Tyler Biadasz had a pretty good game considering who's in that middle. They got beat. Tyler and Zach got beat early on a double team, but after that played well. Tyler Smith only allowed 1 pressure on like 13 or 14 snaps against Aaron Donald. Take that all day. That's incredible.
Absolutely. So how different is this game, Mike, without the illegal contact call in the first quarter that really helped us extend our first drive there?
I don't know if it would have been much different because of how we manhandled them, but it may have been closer longer.
Yeah.
The Dallas pretty much whooped them, other than one little segment of the game to end the half and start the second half. So for me, it wouldn't have been 33-3, but I think they would have won by a couple of scores either way.
I don't know. For me, Mike, that might have been the play of the game. Honestly, we talked about Dak being sacked 3 times out of the first 4 plays on that drive. That was a big momentum-changing penalty in my eyes.
No, it did in the moment. In the moment, it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
enormous. And then they missed one on Jordan Lewis, the other one that stopped them to only get a field goal. So, yeah, the refs early on in the first 2 drives had a little home cooking for Dallas, which I'll take that.
Yeah, it's always nice to be on the right side of those, man.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't happen too often, unfortunately.
Yes, unfortunately. So, was our defense or offense more dominant this game?
I'm going to go offense, and the reason I'm going to say that is because one, they opened the drive up with a touchdown, but then there was a time at 33-3 when Dallas defense gave up a touchdown to end the half, a big long drive, and then a touchdown to start the next half, and it made it a 2-possession game, and it was like, all right, well, are we going to have to get nervous? And Dallas went on like a 17-play drive, 10 minutes. And scored. And that's dominating. 17 plays, 10 minutes, basically ending the game right there. Right when you thought, hey, we got something going against this defense. We scored on them twice. Let's get a stop, get the ball back. Dallas they didn't just come down and score. They demoralized. They closed the game down in one drive. So I got to go offense, and that's the first time I think we've said that this year.
Yeah, Mike, I'm with you. I have to go offense as well. After the first 3 plays of the game, the Rams defense had no answers for our offense. And if not for a tip ball in the red zone, our offense would have scored on all 5 of their first half possessions. That's pretty dominant to me.
It was that tip ball is funny because you had people blaming Dak and people blaming McEwen. And I'm like, no, the guy was open. He went to throw it. The defender made a good play to tip the ball, and it got tipped again and intercepted. Defensive players get paid too. Every once in a while, a play's going to work out and you're going to think you have it, and a defender's going to make a play, and it's like, damn, shit, good play.
Yeah, if Micah tips that, or if Osa or DeMarcus Lawrence tips that and we get an interception, we're singing their praises. So, it goes both ways, guys.
Yeah, exactly. You got to give them credit. That was a big play by can't remember who tipped it, but that was a big play by them.
All right, Mike, which statement is closer to true? The Rams are worse than we thought, or the Cowboys' offense is better than we thought?
I got to give the offense credit, and I think it's because they made adjustments. We talked about Dak's mobility, the use of motion, throws over the middle. So, maybe the Rams were expecting a different offense to show up than what did, and if that's what happened, then literally Dallas was better than expected. So I got to give them that credit.
Yeah, for sure. The Cowboys' offense is better than we thought, Mike. Seeing our offense strike first and help keep the defense fresh and off the field was a goal of McCarthy's this season, and we're finally starting to see that. Our starters have been able to rest in the fourth quarter in 4 different games already this season, man. That's big.
That is. Wear and tear counts. They're human beings. So, yeah, that's important.
Yes, sir. Mike, your guy, Deron Bland, man. Is he the best playmaker on this defense?
Man, this was my question. The reason I asked it is because I couldn't answer it. He's tied for the team league in touchdowns with CeeDee Lamb.
With 3?
They both have 3. That's sick, insanity. Dude. And then it's not just that he makes interceptions. Playmaking is not just that. On the screen pass to Goff, it's a walk-in touchdown if he doesn't get inside of the left tackle and make that play. That's a playmaking play.
Yeah.
Saying that, I'm still going to go Micah because if I'm a defensive coordinator, the first thing I'm doing is not, okay, let's throw to Gilmore. Let's throw away from Bland. The first thing I'm doing is, where's 11 at?
Yeah.
Oh, God, Jesus. Why is 11 lined up over our center? You know what? Oh, man, we got a slide protection. 11's over our left tackle. He's in wide 9. You know what I mean? When he's on the bench, you're like, where's 11? Where? I don't see him out there. You're freaking out because you don't know where he is. Like, oh, he took a play off. Like, oh, thank God. So that one was, man, that was tough. I'm still going to say Parsons, but I mean, 3 touchdowns, he pass deflections, interceptions. He's a machine. So it's for anybody to even be in the realm of Micah Parsons tells you how great Deron Bland's playing. My Fresno State boy, big up Fresno State.
Dude, just thinking about how nasty our secondary will be with Trayvon and Bland on the outside in like 2025, and then if we just get a nice slot corner, bro.
Man,
I
don't mind if they would make. I don't think they will. I don't believe they'll make trades. But if they made the trade that they've been, we're going to talk about it later, but rumored to be involved in, that 3 going forward would be real nice, and Deron Bland could be back in the slot. Gross. And no, it's not Patrick Surtain. Just so you guys know, I know it's not Patrick Surtain.
Yeah, apparently that would have cost like 2 firsts, and there's no way I'm doing that, dude.
Yeah, no, and they just pay Diggs. You have 2 good corners that you probably got to pay already.
Yeah,
you're looking for a rental type trade.
I mean, for 2 firsts, dude, I'd rather get an offensive lineman and a linebacker, instead of having Surtain.
I agree.
All right, so I was listening to 105.3 The Fan, the post game, and I don't know if I misunderstood Brian Broaddus, but I'm pretty sure he said that he heard that the Rams' plan of attack on offense was to test Deron Bland, and we saw how that worked out for Sean McVay and the Rams' offense. But to answer the question, is Deron Bland the best playmaker on this defense? It looks like it, but man, like you said, offensive coordinators have to game plan for Micah Parsons, and Parsons can just take over a game by himself, and we haven't seen Deron Bland do that, but he's getting real close.
Yeah, he is. The reason is the Chargers beat Deron Bland a couple of times really badly. So I think they said, hey, if he's biting for these, if he's going to go for him. The problem is, while Cooper Kupp and Nacua are some equal and even better than Keenan Allen in some aspects, there ain't a human alive that's better than Keenan Allen at route running. There are some equal. I'd put Amari Cooper as an equal. I'd put maybe Justin Jefferson as an equal. But there's nobody better. And so, a second-year player might get beat by Keenan Allen, who's a bigger-bodied player and an elite route runner on a double move. But I don't know if that's going to work with Kupp and Nacua. That's not really – they're an option route more than a fake and go and a slant and go type of thing.
Yeah, it just kind of seems like Bland is on the career path that Diggs was. First year we saw some highlights of what he can be, and then the second year kind of becoming a ball hawk, and then year 3 looked like Diggs was becoming a shutdown. You can't even throw in his area. I feel like Bland is going that same direction. Spider-Man
meme with those two pointing at each other. That's Diggs and Bland.
Absolutely. The defense has been solid, except with the exception of the Cardinals game and of course the 49ers game, Mike. But do you have any worries about this defense?
I do, and I brought it up earlier. One thing I've noticed, and it's becoming kind of a trend, like at momentum times, like when it's a momentum, like this last game is 33-3, right? We're dominating. The only way Rams can get back in this game is if you allow a touchdown before half and a touchdown coming out of half. And they do that. The Niner game, opening drive touchdown, sets a tone. It's like a big momentum thing for the Niners. Right. Cardinals, they allow points on the first drive. They also, there's a lot of times when, like the Niner game, we cut it to 14-7, and it's like, okay, here we go. We came down, we got a score. We broke the ice here. The very next drive, the defense allows a touchdown drive. Arizona, same thing. We cut it to 10-15. As bad as we were playing, we were within 1 score. Dallas defense allows a touchdown drive. It seems like end of half, start of games, big, like trying to catch the momentum swings. They will give up a drive for a touchdown, and that it's something that they need to at least cut down on. It's happening far too often. Not that it can never happen, but that's one thing that worries me. I feel like in big momentum spots, they'll give up points.
That's a good one, Mike. For me, my concern would be, I guess most people have this concern with their teams, is just staying healthy. Because I'm not going to say anything, but imagine if we were to lose somebody in our secondary. Imagine if we were to lose a linebacker. Imagine if we lost somebody on our defensive line who everybody knows and loves. I mean, just those injuries, man, could be devastating.
There's one guy that no matter what, if he's injured, you're hurting. We talked about him earlier. If a corner got injured, we'd be in a lot of trouble. I think you could survive everything else other than corner and the one freakazoid.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're going to go into trade right now that, mine directly leads into what we're discussing right now.
Well, if you could make a trade to improve one unit on the team, what position would you choose, Mike?
Okay, so improving one unit from what they do now, I think I'd go DT. And the funny thing is, Osa's been great. Yeah, Osa's been great, and Hankins has been great. But if I could get like a Simmons from Titans, a Jonathan Allen, like a monster defensive tackle, where Osa is good. Osa is good and continues to get better. If I can get a guy that is a game record, that would be like my, okay, now we're going to be, what are you going to do against us type of move. The real answer, though, is cornerback or O-line, though. And the reason is your one bad, hamstring, one ankle sprain, away from like, okay, who's our starting corners if one of the outside guys goes? If any O lineman that goes, you're going to be, worried. If it's an injury that's like 6, 7, 8 weeks, you're going to be like, oh, Jesus. So, yeah, I would say like injuries off, and I just want to improve the quality of my team. I want a DT. But the real reason for one of these, we have plenty of great starters. The real reason for one of these trades is protection. It would be for protection. And so corner or O-line would be my spots.
Yeah, Mike, I mean, that's the easy answer. I feel like the offensive line is the only answer, but I like your answer, though. Strengthening the defensive tackle just to complement Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence and making that like even more dominant than it already is. I can't imagine Justin Simmons, dude, on this defensive line, dude. That'd be disgusting.
And on downs,
Isaiah Simmons, excuse me.
On downs where it's like 3rd and 5, where they could run or pass, like you're playing Osa and Simmons. Like Simmons becomes the one technique, and you have Osa, Parsons, and like Tank, or Parsons lines up as linebacker, as a rushing linebacker, and you have Dorrance Armstrong and Fowler with gross. It's gross.
So gross. All right, Mike, who was your player of the game?
I went with Lamb. I felt like the answer's got to be Lamb or Dak, and I gave Lamb the nod because he had a career-high 12 receptions, a career-high 158 yards, and he tied his career high with 2 touchdowns. So having career highs across the board in a game, I was like, let's give him the nod. But I assume if Lamb's not yours has to be the other guy that it has to be.
Of course, but it's kind of crazy to me that Lamb doesn't have a 3-touchdown game.
Yeah, I know. Shoot, he only has 3. He's tied with Bland. He only has 3 on the year.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, of course, my player of the game, Dak Prescott. Outside of Bland and CD, I don't know how you could give this to any other player, but Dak earned this one.
Yeah, he was too, even over mine. But my thought was, well, he's probably going to go. How do you not go Dak? So I wanted to give Lamb his flowers.
Yes, sir. Player spotlight, Mike.
Mine's Turpin. A couple of big returns. One got called back. One set up a touchdown. He's gotten more into the. I think he might have 2 touchdown receptions. Maybe it's only 1, but I know he's not far behind our leaders. Yeah. Jeff Kavanaugh was talking about it, getting him more snaps as the 3rd wide, not making him like the most snaps at 3rd wide, but 5 or 6 snaps.
Just more. Yeah,
just more. His speed kills, So I'm going to give Turpin some love. He had a good day as a returner.
Man, I wish he could have brought that one back to the house, but freaking Nashawn Wright, dude, with that stupid block. Was it a hold or a block? I can't remember. I
It
think
was
it
a
was the hold,
block in the
actually.
back, I believe.
Block in the back. Okay. Mike, this is probably a first. We haven't been doing player of the game, player spotlight. This is our first year doing it. So this is the first time this season that this is going to happen. But I'm giving my spotlight again to Dak Prescott. And we all know the type of game that he had and the numbers that he put up. But he gets the spotlight for me for a different reason. In our training camp preview episode, one of the storylines I wanted to hear was how Dak was being more of a vocal leader. And I felt like we saw that yesterday. I love seeing him get onto both Cooks and Pollard about not catching the ball with their hands. I mean, we were up by like double-digit points, and he was still getting onto them about not executing plays. So I feel like maybe we're starting to see that side of him come out a bit.
I love that, man. That's great. I like that reasoning. Just so you could point out your storyline from the training camp, episodes.
Yeah.
No,
I got to get my shine on somewhere, Mike.
No, for real though. The lead my biggest issue with this team is mentality. Like,
yes.
And nobody would be surprised if they rode in on their high horse and Eagles and got beat by 17 points. Nobody would be like, there they are. So having them during a blowout, having Dak go, no, fucking execute. Do what we're supposed to do, because it ain't the Rams coming in next week. You're happy to win every week. Every week's tough, but it's another animal coming. So you better be on your game. It's going to be a different game Sunday. It's time to, they need to prepare like they're playing San Francisco, Kansas City Eagles every week.
That game, a win against the Eagles could be like the palate cleanser of the 49ers game.
That's what I'm waiting for. If they are able to go into Philly and I don't care how they do it. You find a way to win, I'll go, okay. Then your team is good enough. You just may be a bad matchup with the Niners. And maybe you run into them, maybe you don't. But it's not like they're not on that level. There's a difference. Sometimes you just don't match up well. But it doesn't mean you're not on the same level of those teams.
Yeah. All right, Mike, here we are with your views of the sidelines. Of course, the trade deadline is approaching. So I'm curious, have you heard of any potential trades that the Cowboys are in on?
The one that I heard was Jalen Johnson from the Bears. They could just be the added name that everybody does with Dallas, though.
Yeah.
But if they could get Jalen, you tell me Diggs, Jalen Johnson, and Deron Bland. Man, you want to talk about issues. And I don't see a problem with going for a corner like that because Gilmore leaves in a year. You lost Diggs, so he replaces Diggs for this year, and then next year he replaces Gilmore. And he's really damn good. So I wish they would go after him. If they planned on giving him some money, I wouldn't even mind giving a one for him if that's what it took to out. Because the word is Niners is one of the teams after him, and there's another good team. I can't
Ravens probably.
Which one?
I threw the Ravens out there just because they seem to always be in on those guys at this time of year.
They might have been one. I can't remember it for sure off the top of my head, but I know Niners. And I was like, Jesus, last thing that defense needs is Jihad Ward and Jalen Johnson on it.
So can you talk to us a little bit about Jalen Johnson? Really, I say us, I mean me. Is he like outside? Is he a corner? Is he versatile? Talk to us a little bit about his game.
He's an outside corner, plays the boundary well, would be fit immensely wonderful in Dan Quinn's scheme. You don't move him inside. You'd move Deron Bland inside, and that would allow Jordan Lewis to play less snaps inside, which is a good thing because he played pretty damn well. But he's not Deron Bland. He's not Diggs. He's not Jalen Johnson. He's going to get beat some. So you would like to limit him a little bit, especially coming off his injury. So yeah, he's a very, very good corner. My dad's a Bears fan. I have to watch. He's up there. Like, he's not Patrick Surtain, but he's a good young corner. Like, there's a reason these really good teams are going for him. And it would not shock me if it cost a first-round pick just because so many teams want a good young corner, So, like, I think he was a second or third. I think he was a second. But I had a high grade on him. I believe I had a second round grade, a day 2 grade. and he outdid my expectations. He was great for the Bears, and he could end up being a lockdown type corner. He's that level.
Oh, I love to hear that. All right, my hero or true or false, and of course, Halloween being tomorrow, I wanted to add a little bit of I wanted to get a little bit festive with this one. Halloween, or true or false, Halloween is the second best scary movie franchise of all time.
That's an easy false for me.
Okay.
Just off the Nightmare on Elm Street's number one, Freddy
Of
Krueger.
course. Yeah.
I'd put Scream ahead of it. I would put Friday the 13th, although they got a little wonky towards the end.
Okay.
I think the original Friday the 13th are better than the original Halloweens for me because Tom Savini's death designs, the way he's the guy from Evil Dead and all that, and From Dusk Till Dawn, and hell, he was behind Bray Wyatt's The Fiend character. Like, Tom Savini's a genius, but the way they rigged their death stuff was like elite. And I would probably put the first few Saws above it too. So it's somewhere around 5 for me. You know, that would be the range.
I got you. Okay, so it's more of a stylistic, almost style points for as far as Friday the 13th and Halloween.
Well, because I don't really dig horror movies. Don't do it for me. So you have to do something that's like unique. And so like the Evil Dead movies and the Friday the 13th always had like elaborate, like not CGI death scenes that were awesome. And Halloween was done more like a traditional scary horror, like if you read it in a book, it would be like it is in the Halloween, like the silhouette of the guy hanging with the knife in him. And it's not like the blood pouring out of him like you would in another thing, but the scare of it is like, damn, dude, you're just stuck there. Like, this guy just came in, you're dead. You're just stuck on a wall and that, where that stuff doesn't get me. What gets me is like, oh, that was awesome. Look how they made that dude's eye pop out of his head, and it looked like it was really his eye popping out. You know, that's crazy.
I got you. Yeah.
Or some kind of twisty like Scream is and like Saw was. And then Nightmare on Elm Street just is because Freddy Krueger, he's not just a mask guy and like anybody. Freddy Krueger is what made it. He is that boogeyman. And so that's why I have those ahead of Halloween, which was also great, by the way. I love the Halloween movies.
Yeah, for me, I think it's a close second for me. I'd have to really, think about it, but I'd put Scream over Halloween as the second best movie franchise as well.
So what's your one?
Nightmare on Elm Street, baby. Come on now.
Good. We're both. We're here.
Yes, sir. When a fictional character is giving you nightmares in your 20s, like it's legit, dude.
That I used to. I'm not joking about this. I used to dream that I helped Freddy Krueger, and I would wake up like, this is fucking weird. That's not like, I would literally wake up like, no, dude, no. Like, come after me. I'm not cool with helping you. I think you're awesome, but I ain't trying to murder anybody. Like, I legit would wake up like that. Like, what is going on? Like, if I had a nightmare of Freddy, it was weird because of Jason. Jason would be coming after me, and I would weirdly have like weapons set up where there aren't weapons in my house. But like, I would go around the corner and an axe, and I would know about this axe being there, and it's like, there's no axe there. I live here. I know there's no axe there, but in the dream it was. But in the dreams with Freddy, I was and I'm like, no, I'm not helping you. I'm not a murderer. It was weird, but that's how big of a fan I was of his character.
The last boogeyman that needs assistance is definitely Freddy Krueger. He's not like Michael Myers and Halloween Ends.
Yeah, this dude is it kills you in your sleep, like, not even fair.
And that's the thing of it too. Just that, knowing how he gets to you in your dreams, that like alone is terrifying.
And I like the way like horror movies can get old, like franchises can get stale. So the first two were like, he was creepy nightmare guy. And then in the third movie, Wes Craven was like, look, we need to switch it up. Like, eventually, hey, you fall asleep and this guy comes after you is going to get old. And he made Freddy Krueger a comedy character. Like, from 3 till all the way on, the movies were more about like the one-liners Freddy would do when he kills you then like, oh my
Yeah.
God, I'm terrified, And
Right.
it was Wes Craven was on another level horror wise, and it's Scream, and our top two basically
Yeah.
are both
Yeah.
Wes Craven. There's a reason for that. His mind works on another level.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, Mike. Here we are with one word. Dak's level of confidence heading into the Philly game is blank.
Solid.
Mm.
I don't believe that he could be too confident with the way the offensive line's going. I think the way Dak's smart enough to understand that the Niners and Eagles are different than the Chargers and the Rams.
Yeah.
And so I think there's still a little bit of that. Can this offense do this against this team coming up? Now, he also whoops ass on the NFC East. So,
Right.
it could be pretty great confidence right now, but maybe it's my confidence is like low, and so I'm kind of trying to raise it to solid, where Dak's confidence could be pretty high because he's good against the NFC East.
Yeah, for me, Dak's level of confidence heading into the Philly game is, man, that's exciting, Mike. I love hearing him be that confident, ready for battle, wanting to go head to head with the best in the division. I love that attitude that he has, man.
Okay, so we flipped the way we were thinking about it. So you're saying his confidence being high is blank for you. And I was
Yes.
thinking of it more as like, what is his confidence level?
Oh, I got you. Okay, so I mean, knowing how I thought of it, what is your answer then?
Dak's level of confidence it makes me nervous. I don't know the
Oh,
word, nerve
wow.
inducing.
Okay.
Well, because they were so confident going into San Francisco, and I don't want confident, we're as good as everybody team and walking. I want them like on the edge. Like if we don't play absolutely perfect every down, we're going to get ran out of here like we did against San Francisco. I want them like that. Execute, see it, study more. You know what? We're not good enough. I need to study another hour a day this week. Thinking of how you believe his confidence would make me a little nervous. Although he kills the NFC East. So it's hard. I think I'm just nervous about this game. I want to show that we're one of those three.
Right. You want
And
to be
if we just
proven.
come out and get rung up by the Eagles, I know we're not. And that makes me nervous.
Hey, I hear that, man. I'm sure a lot of people agree with that. Okay, so here we are, top 5, and this is a movie genre. I don't think it's talked about enough, but I love a movie with a twist, Mike. So tonight we're going to do our top 5 movies with a twist. I know you're going to have some good movies on your list. Start us off with number 5.
I have 8 of them written down, so I'm still partly deciding.
No worries. I like that.
I'm gonna say, okay. I'm gonna give a shout out to the movies Unbreakable, where you find out. Well, I'm not gonna give away the friggin'. Should we give them away or no?
What do you mean, give them away?
Should we say why we think they're the best, or should we just say, "Hey, watch these. These are our top," and give an idea?
If you want to add some commentary as to why you feel that way, then yeah, of course, do it.
Okay, Unbreakable, the ending with the reveal of the two, the supervillain and the hero. I love that. Gone Baby Gone.
I've never seen that, so don't spoil that one for me.
Watch that. Great movie. And then there's a movie called Arlington Road with Jeff Bridges and Tim Robbins.
Yeah.
Fantastic ending. And a good movie. So I want to shout out those 3, but those are the 3 I'm going to leave off. So now the order. I know that the first 2. What order do I want to put the other ones in? All right. Let's do number 5 is a movie. It's the thing that makes the movie crazy is it starts off and you just think that some stuff is going down at a hotel. The movie's called Identity. And you think it's that there's stuff going down at a hotel. Yeah. And then you find out that it's like a medical treatment for somebody with schizophrenia or with multiple personality.
Yeah.
And the people dying are really the eliminating of the personalities. And it's a great movie, man. It is a trippy ass movie, and it's well acted.
So good.
Ray Liotta, John Cusack. Like, there's a lot of guys you don't know their name by like, but you see him and you go, "Oh, that guy. Oh, that guy's in this. I like that guy." Well, their whole movie is that. Like, I know Amanda Peet and I know Jake Busey, but a lot of people don't know those names.
Yeah.
But yeah, that and I had that movie in it could have easily been 3, but I put it at 5 because it's probably the least known of the 5. So it's a good movie though. Like, see it.
Mike, here we are with a top 5. I think this is back-to-back weeks. Number 5 on my list, Identity.
Really? Wow, with all the friggin' movies. I was worried you wouldn't have even seen Identity.
Oh man, back in the day, dude, I used to love going to movies. I mean, I was at the movies every weekend. I'd watched a lot of movies. My mom would always like, you remember those magazine subscriptions you could get where it's like for or it's like you could get those CDs like for $1 you get 20 CDs type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, well, I used to do that. That's how I got a lot of my CDs. I guess there was a service where you could do that. The same thing with DVDs, and my mom loaded up on DVDs doing that. So I've watched a lot of movies in my day. It's just as I got older, I stopped watching movies for whatever reason because of time and stuff. But yeah, Identity, man, that's a fantastic movie. I've seen that movie a lot.
When he what? And he shows us, "What did you do to my face?" When you could see between the mirror and it, crazy, dude. Highly recommend you watch that movie if you haven't seen it out here. And I try not to give away too much. That's like the basic, but it's cooler. Like, there's even more layers to it. There's another twist to even past that. So just watch the movie. You'll like it. I got my eye on the game too. Sorry.
No worries. Number 4 on my list has been, this is a movie. This is a classic movie. Dare I say even a cult classic if it qualifies for that, but Fight Club. Come on, man.
Oh, Fight Clubs. Yeah. You want to know why that didn't make my list? My little brother knew Mitchell called it.
Oh,
and
wow.
I'm one that I catch. There's not many movies every one of these on my list almost are the ones that like got me. Almost every other movie, by the time I'm like, oh, this is what's going on. I'm like one of those. Now, I don't say it out loud to ruin it for everybody else, but I sit there like, oh, I know what this is. And then when it is, I'm like, I got it, or I'll put it in my phone and they'll be like, oh, you think, I'm like, it's like, so, that one for Mitchell to be like, oh, shoot, I think it's it. And I was like, what? And then I was like, oh, damn, how'd that even come into your brain? He goes, I don't know, something about how he acted with Helen Bonham Carter made me think like she was talking to the same person,
right?
But he wasn't talking to her as the same person. I was like, damn, you're crazy. I did not get that one. So that's why I didn't make my list, because in the movie he kind of told me, and I was like, oh, really? And then it came true. So
yeah. But even without the twist, it's still just an awesome movie.
Anyway, that movie's fantastic, twist or not.
Yes, sir. All right, Mike, what's number 4 on your list?
Number 4 on my list, the movie. I'll be interested to see if you've seen this one, because this is the other one that was kind of less known. The other 3 are more known movies. Yeah. But I don't know if I want to give this one away. So it's about a person. How do you give this one away? So it's about this person that's trying to find somebody who believes God gives them a list to kill people. And like their dad, that Bill Paxton's in it, Matthew McConaughey.
You gotta be kidding me, dude.
Powers Booth. You have Frailty on your list? No way.
Number 3.
Wow, that's unbelievable. Well, how would you? Okay, well then you go into it. How would you, without like fully giving it away, how would you describe the movie to somebody?
Somebody goes to the FBI to say that they witnessed a murder committed by their father, I guess is how I would have described
it. Or brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just they to say that they witnessed a murder by someone close to them.
And basically, this isn't giving anything away, but Bill Paxton plays the dad, and he believes that God has sent him and his sons as like warriors to kill these people. But the person who's turning them in is like, he doesn't believe that, basically.
Yeah.
And so he thinks that his dad and brother are killing innocent people. And that's basically what we'll give you of the movie. But it's really good. And Bill Paxton and Powers Booth. Bill Paxton and Powers Booth are no longer with us. So, it's a way to go back and like look at some of their great work and be like, damn, it's too bad they're gone because, man, they put out great films. Yes, all right. Sir, well, then what am I going to? My number 3 then?
Yeah, you go to your number 3. Number 3 was Frailty for me, guys, just in case anybody missed that.
All right. So 3 is a movie about, I swear to God, if you have Primal Fear on your list.
I don't. And I still haven't seen it. I know the twist at the end anyway, but that's a movie that I have to see because I love Edward Norton anyway.
Yeah, Edward Norton plays a fantastic character that is accused of murdering the Archbishop, and Richard Gere is his lawyer, and it's about the trying to find the person who really did it for because they believe that Edward Norton is innocent. And it's just a good movie. I don't want to give more than that away, but even if you know the twist, the movie's good. Like, it's a good movie regardless. But I remember that the way this movie got me is I figured it out. I figured out what I thought was the thing. And then even then they flipped it on me at the very end. And I was like, oh shit, I didn't have it really, not to the detail that it was. So yeah, go see Primal Fear, or rent Primal Fear, watch Primal Fear if you haven't seen it. Great movie. Even if you know even if you looked it up or you get it from what we're saying, the movie's so well acted and it's a great courtroom drama anyway, so it's worth watching.
Yeah. All right, Mike, number 2 on my list. This might be a bit of a shocker here. I haven't seen this movie that many times, so that says a lot that it would make my top 5 because the twist is just so incredible. Like, I don't know if you figured this out when you saw it, but Inside Man.
Oh, Inside Man was excellent. And no, I did not figure that one out. That was a good movie. Directed, paced, acted, Clive Owen, Denzel, William Dafoe. Like, forget the twist. The movie's just well done. It's just an excellent movie. And then, like, the thing about that movie is the whole movie's a twist. Yeah. That's what makes it so cool. It just, the ending kind of, but it's like it's
like 2 different movies in one almost.
Yeah, the movie really is about right from the beginning, like, okay, what's going on? Who did this? Who's the bad guys? What's their motivations? The whole movie has you trying to figure out stuff so much that you don't even realize that a twist is coming up, really. Because you're just trying to be like, okay, what's going on here? Why is this happening? Is this a bad guy? Is this person? Who's are they working together? Is this there's so much of that going on through the movie that you don't even think about the very end. You're not even, and they're showing it to you as the movie's going on. They're kind of, when you go back and watch it a second time, you're like, oh shit, they're like doing it right now. Like that's a good call. Inside Man. I didn't think about putting that one on there. That's a good one.
One of the underrated Denzel Washington movies, I'm sure.
Oh, because he has so many great ones. It's hard.
Yeah, exactly.
And Spike Lee, one of the underrated Spike Lee movies at that.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, he directed it.
Oh, Mr. Spike Lee. Yeah, I don't hear his name heard too much, but yeah, I didn't even know that, honestly.
Yeah, that was his movie. Yeah, he did a good job.
All right, Mike, what's number 2 on your list?
Number 2 on my list, a horror movie that basically everybody knows what it is now. But that ending of the Saw movie where Jigsaw stands up, I audibly was like, oh shit, that is, in the theater was like, that is fucking awesome. out loud, I was saying that. That one of the best endings of all time for a movie for me. That was, man, that I'll never forget that one. And part 2 had a good surprise ending too.
With
And
the
then from
safe,
there on, it kind of went down, But the
is part
first
2 with the safe opens at the end? Sorry.
Yes,
Oh
that's
yeah,
that one.
dude. So good, bro.
Good. They did a good job of those first 2 movies of really. It wasn't just about the splatter horror. It really was a good oh shoot, you got us type of thing.
Yeah,
And they didn't really match up from then on. It wasn't the same. The new one had a cool little thing, but by this time, 10 movies in, you kind of get like something's going to happen, and you're just kind of waiting for it. But those first 2 movies, you had no idea. The first movie, nobody, I don't care what anybody said, nobody had that one. And then the second one, you're not sure if it's like a twist ending, because the twist ending of the first one, everybody thought it was about the deaths. Oh, how are they going to kill people? And they shocked you with like, oh, damn. So, yeah, shout out to Saw 2 also. Good movie.
That's Donnie Wahlberg, right? He's the
Donnie Wahlberg. There was a joke that we made, me and my friends made forever. They were like talking about like making the second movie. And they're like, we got to make a sequel to this movie. And they're like, well, do we have the right people? And he's like, hey, we got Wahlberg. And the guy's like, you got Mark Wahlberg? And they're like, Donnie Wahlberg. And we were making a joke of it for forever. Even though Donnie Wahlberg's a good like dream catcher. I love him, and that is a good. Mark Wahlberg was like the superstar back then. And so that was a joke that we did for like 10 years. Just Donnie Wahlberg. Anytime something was disappointing, like you try some new food and you'd be like, was it good or not good? You'd be like, Donnie Wahlberg. It was so good. So mean.
Have you eaten at Wahlburgers?
I've gotten the burgers and cooked them myself, but we don't have a Wahlburgers here that I know of around me.
Okay, I thought for some reason it was California based. Maybe not.
It could be, but not Fresno. I don't know of one around Fresno.
I got you. All right, Mike.
My one or your one?
You just did 2, so I believe it's your one, and then I got lost.
Okay, so my number 1 is The Usual Suspects. And if you don't know the Kaiser Soze, just watch it. First of all, the movie, the cast is unbelievable, and the movie is incredible. And if it didn't have the ending is like what makes it a 10 instead of like a 9.5. Like the movie's awesome all the way through, and then the ending is a real like mind blower ending, like one of those oh my god endings. So yeah, I couldn't recommend that enough. And it's the one on my list that like that one won like 2 Academy Awards or something. So yeah, definitely watch Usual Suspects.
All right, Mike, number 1 on my list. I feel like it wouldn't be a movie with a twist without a Christopher Nolan movie. The Prestige.
The minute you said Christopher Nolan, I was like, oh, that's The Prestige. Oh my God, I didn't put Memento. Memento is my number 1 movie with a twist. Like, I can't believe I didn't put that. Have you ever seen Memento?
So I started watching it one night, and I fell asleep, and I just haven't got around back to watching it. But I kind of felt like I was starting to figure it out, but I want to watch it anyway.
Okay. First of all, Prestige is incredible, and if you haven't seen that, Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale, Michael Caine, and the I'm not even going to go into any of that because it's not a big name movie, so it's a lot that you guys may not have seen, but it's about magicians, and the ending is unbelievable, and it's Christopher Nolan, so it's great. Memento, it should have been my number 1, and the minute you said Christopher Nolan, I was like, oh my God, I didn't put Memento.
Yeah.
The movie plays backwards, so if you played a movie regular, the first scene in the movie is how the movie would end. And then it runs backwards, but the flashback scenes go in the right order. So I know this sounds so confusing, but I hope it's intriguing.
Right.
Because it's the only movie ever to do anything like this I never seen anything like it. But the twist at the end is golden. So definitely watch it. And it honestly has a couple twists. So yeah, Memento's
interesting.
crazy.
I'll have to keep that in mind.
Watch Memento.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love this time of year, like around close to Halloween, because they start playing all these classic scary movies, and all these scary movies come out and things like that. So it's a way to watch something you might not have ever seen before.
Yeah, that my thing's gonna die, so I need to plug it in just in case before I go.
Jeff Kavanaugh joining us tonight, guys.
Yeah, if it goes, hey, I plugged it in. If it goes dead, that's the Jeff Kavanaugh special.
You know, sometimes these movies with like the twist or the psychological thrillers are scarier than the actual like horror, slasher, boogeyman, you know, creature features.
I don't get horror movies. Don't really scare me. When I was younger, Candyman did. That was about the only one. Movies that scare me, The Room. You ever seen the movie The Room with Brie Larson?
Captain no, but Marvel? I was. This isn't the same like type of movie or anything, but I heard Parasite's kind of like that, and I want to watch that.
Parasite is great. Parasite also has a outstanding ending. You have to read. It's Korean as subtitles, but it is fantastic. That's another one that it might make your list after you see it. The ending is mind blowing. So definitely watch that.
Was there a reason it didn't make your list?
There's a lot of good movies with. You want to know why? Honestly. Because it won Best Picture. And I thought, well, that won Best Picture. Like, people are going to know that. Usual Suspects won 2 Academy Awards, but I don't think either were Best Picture. I don't believe so. Maybe they did. And even if it did, I didn't want to have 2 of them on there. I forgot Memento. My list is null and void. I forgot. How do you forget Memento? That movie is by far my favorite movie with a twist. I'm mad. Yeah. I ruined the whole segment.
I'm sure there's people are wondering how we didn't have this movie on a list, or how neither one of us had this movie on a list. So it's a hard list, man.
Oh, it is. Others, Gone Baby, which that one's really not at the end. I guess there's like 3 twists in that movie. There is a lot of movies with twists. Sixth Sense, I'm sure, got a lot of people, fooled them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of movies with a twist in it. Hell, every M. Night Shyamalan movie has stuff with a twist at the end. Like,
right.
There's a lot. So, that's why you forget some. Like Memento, I shouldn't have forgot because it's my number 1. But Parasite, let me tell you something. Parasite easily could be in the top 5, Paul. I highly recommend you watch that movie.
Yes, sir. We'll do. Well, Mike, as always, man, I enjoyed our discussion tonight. Before we get you out of here, remind the people they can find you on Twitter.
CD Piglet, guys. Letter C, letter D, Piglet, nice and easy.
Guys, I'm Paul Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you guys next week.
I can't believe I forgot Memento.